Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today. Now normally when I take a small bite out of a game, I deliver on a nice toasty bun what I call my hot take. This time around I'm giving you the truth. The truth about what, Matty? Well, obviously Assassin's Creed Origins with the review embargo for this title now lifting. The reason for that is because there's been some stuff going on behind the scenes I want to make consumers aware of. This is nothing nefarious, and in fact it's nothing uncommon, but given the type of game Assassin's Creed Origins is, I believe it's going to suffer from a lot of rushed reviews from YouTubers, and I'm going to explain exactly why. So what happened was, big press outlets like an IGN, a GameSpot, etc. received this title last week, so they're really in the clear, putting tons of hours into it. But YouTubers and Twitch streamers received this title on Monday afternoon. That gave us about a couple of days to play through this entire game and upload a video at this very time you're watching it at 4 a.m. Pacific time on Thursday, October 26th. Simply put, even if you went marathon 24 hours a day, somehow not sleeping through any of it, it would be hard to imagine that you actually beat this game. Now you might be thinking, well, you could just blow through the main story and say, hey, I beat it, here's my opinion on it, and some reviewers actually do that, and that's their own process, but here's why it couldn't really work in Assassin's Creed Origins. There's a leveling system that bars you off from simply blowing through the main story, considering most main story missions involve you having to get to a certain level. The way you level up is by killing enemies, completing quests, and other side activities throughout the open world. Once you level up, you can then equip loot of said level to your character, which is an addicting feedback loop in its own right, but then you can take on enemies of that level without getting stomped. And you might be thinking, well, it's an Assassin's Creed game, it doesn't matter their level, as long as I have a couple of abilities and a good stealth takedown, then I'm all good. Sadly, that's not the case. Even your Assassin's Gauntlet is an object you have to upgrade. Sometimes you can't even one-hit kill certain enemies because they're too high of a level. This does force you to get creative with your takedowns, like perhaps shooting with a bow from one area and then moving in for an assassination, but point being is there's no simple way of blowing through this game, and I don't think that's what the game was designed around anyway. A lot of what I would describe this game as is intoxicating. It's fun. It's enjoyable getting lost in this world, seeing its crisp architecture, true to its time period. The insane tech like the color of the sandstorm as it begins and how the world transforms around you, beautiful radial blurs, an oddly standout skybox, hallucinating in the desert heat, and really satisfying looking color hues when you're underwater depending on what type of water you're in, whether it's a green hue or more of a clear blue hue. It's all a fascinating world to explore, and that's also coupled with pretty compelling side quests. Now there's nothing so far that'll stick by me for years to come, but it's an overall improvement on storytelling for the series, especially when it comes to the main story at this point in time. Now I'm only about 10 hours in, but still, this game in general is pretty good, but more importantly, and the point I'm driving home here, is it's very big, especially its map. There likely isn't a word in the dictionary currently to describe how big this open world is. And considering it's a beautiful open world, driven by a lot of content, there is a leveling system which bars you from sprinting through the main story. Often enough, you're gonna find yourself getting lost in a lot of the side activity there, no matter what type of gamer you are. Also, with some side quests being based solely around loot progression, which is key to making sure your character's dealing enough damage when you get into those melee combat situations, it's important to do those types of missions. The loot progression is very similar to how I described South Park: The Fractured Butthole, where you have the cosmetic outfit, but then interchangeable weapons, armor upgrades as well through materials that are scattered about the open world. This loot system does offer more than South Park, so don't get me wrong there, but in many ways with the leveling and how you accept quests, it is very similar. And I like this system in general, so I have no complaints. But what I'm really trying to hammer home here is this is not a game you can sprint through, and a lot of YouTube reviews you should be cautious of because there really wasn't enough time to get through this game fully and see all there was to it. And if you did manage to blow through the main story, I think there would have been a lot left to see and a lot of content that you're opting out of. I also want to interject in there that this isn't me playing a trust me not them type of game. You guys are free to watch whoever the hell you want. I'm just saying be wary, folks, because right now there are only a select few people who have likely actually legitimately beat this game. That's why I'm here to tell you guys my review for this game is going to be indefinitely delayed. I don't know when I'm going to finish this game, and quite honestly, I don't want to rush it. I am a big believer in not rushing reviews, and when you're creating a review for a game, experiencing it like a normal gamer. Right now, I can at least tell you guys throughout my first 10 hours, I'm enjoying this game a lot. It does have a lot of similar Assassin's Creed DNA. There's not a lot of things that have left the series, like the synchronization points, like some occasional, but not as much anymore, waypoint chasing, but the improvements to storytelling, side quests, a wonderful open world, and some insane tech has made for a really compelling case for me to at least recommend keeping your eye on this game. So make sure you watch for the reviewers that you genuinely trust this time around, as per usual. But like I'm saying, keep an eye out for others there. Make sure you're aware of those rush reviews, because this game in particular I think will sadly suffer from it, and right now it doesn't seem to deserve that fate considering how much I have been impressed by it. That's all I have to say about Assassin's Creed Origins. Let me know what you think about this title in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active, I love you all, peace.